Hi guys, a very good morning, and let's get started. So in the last class, we started configuring our Jenkins server, and we have installed different plugins for our Jenkins server. So currently the server is stopped, guys. Now what I'll do is I'll just go ahead, I'll just restart the server and restart Jenkins again. So in the last class, we have installed Jenkins. So we have sudo systemctl status Jenkins. Jenkins is active, it is running. So if we browse the IP address, copy the public IP address, colon 8080. It's kind of slow, guys, but okay, we'll just let it load. So Jenkins is loading up. And meanwhile, as Jenkins is running, as Jenkins is going to boot up, so simultaneously, what did we do? We also installed Docker. And with the help of Docker, we created a SonarCube server for testing. Docker images. So you see, there is a SonarCube container. And if I say Docker ps-a, okay, look at this. There is a SonarCube container that was running, but it was exited. It was stopped. Okay, it was exited. So what I can do is I can say Docker start the container. So we will start the SonarCube container again. SonarCube started. So now if I say Docker ps, all right. So SonarCube is running on port 9000. And this is my Jenkins. It is up. So here I'll say username admin. Password is also admin. Sign in. And here my SonarCube server is updated. So first we will go ahead. We will also access SonarCube base. We'll also access SonarCube. So SonarCube is running on port 9000. We've already seen that yesterday. So copy the IP address, colon 9000. There we go. So this is the Sonar server, and Jenkins is very slow. So admin it 1 2 3 4 5 6. So this is my SonarCube server. So now what did we do? So once we went ahead, once we have installed Jenkins, once we configured Jenkins. So on top of Jenkins server, we went ahead, we have installed SonarCube and we have integrated SonarCube with our Jenkins server. And once again, guys, Jenkins is running extremely slow, very slow. Okay, once again, what I'll do is I'll just stop and start Jenkins. Your systemctl. Restart Jenkins. Okay. Status running now. If I just try to give it a refresh, it's taking me to the login page. Yes, is my CPU resources enough? Top CPU is fine, perfect. There is absolutely nothing on top of this. So here let's stop. This is perfect. So it's still taking some time, guys. My Jenkins is acting very, very slow. Not sure what is exactly the problem on this server. So I believe the CPU resources are not enough, or the storage resources are not enough exactly. But we have everything. Oh, 80% of the storage is utilized, guys. Actually, you see this? 80% of the storage is utilized. So that is the problem actually. But let me just try to log in and check. If it is still slow, no, then I have to just spin up a new server with same components. Okay, it is still very slow, guys. Why? The reason is very simple, because my storage is 80% of the storage is utilized. Okay, that's the reason. So what you have to do is, okay, so we'll just do one thing. I'll just create a brand new server. I'll call it Jenkins Lab Ubuntu. And here I'll go with T2 medium. Okay, I'm going T2 medium. Mac.
Dynamically, we cannot add, right? Here, no
No,
feature, right?
I can add, but again, I have to restart the server.
Okay.
I can go to the block storage. I can modify the block storage. So that is EBS. It's a block level storage. So same thing how in what do we call this? In Azure, you have your file storage, right? Or the
Yes.
magnetic storage that you get. You can modify it. You can dynamically modify it, but you have to restart the server again. So it will take more time. So that's the reason I'm just launching a server. And what
Oh,
I'll do is, whatever the steps I need to perform, I'll just run it in user data. So here, just a second. This. So to install Jenkins, we configured a couple of steps too. So once you have all the steps, let's say you know all the steps that you need in order to go ahead, in order to execute a certain process, I'm going to run all that steps in the user data field.
yes.
So where was it? Here. So Jenkins lab. Okay, just pay attention, guys. So all the steps: update, install Java. Okay, copy, and where is this? I'm running my server now. Here, what I'll do is I'll just paste it. I'll say shebang slash bin slash bash, enter, update hyphen y, install Java hyphen y. I'll just add hyphen y at the end for everything. Then install Jenkins. Yes. Install Jenkins. Copy Jenkins key. apt update, again install Jenkins. Okay. So guys, all the steps, what are the steps I can think of? I'm just going ahead. I'm just running it here. Update Jenkins, update system, install Jenkins. Then enable Jenkins, start Jenkins, enable start Jenkins. Then install Docker, start Docker. Oops. Install Docker, start Docker, modify Docker permissions. Okay. Then then run SonarCube container. Then no. Uh, hmm, okay. Then run SonarCube container. Then I'm going to run some more steps inside the server. Run SonarCube container. All right. and then install Trivi, download Trivi. See guys, I'm going and I'm running absolute all the commands here. Okay. You see, I'm trying to run all the commands here. Update, install Trivi. Let's see. So this is the reason why we make a documentation of all the nodes. Okay. Update, install Trivi. So guys, if this script gets executed successfully, it should update the system, install Java, install Jenkins, start Jenkins, install Docker, start Docker, install Trivi, enable Trivi, and also it should run the SonarQube container. All right, let's see how it works. Brand new server, Jenkins lab. We'll just give it 2 minutes. Okay, we'll just give it like 2 minutes. Now let's try to connect. Yes. And before I connect, so here guys, the other server was there. No, I'll get rid of this. I don't need this because it's also a T2 medium server. Unnecessarily, I'll be wasting resources. Gone. Now, yeah, here I'll say yes. Okay, so now let's see, guys. First, Java. So let's see if Java is installed. Java is installed. Let's see if Jenkins is installed. Jenkins service not found. Okay. Now something went wrong in the script. Something went wrong in the script. Okay, so I don't know exactly what went wrong. Now, rather than going ahead troubleshooting, no, I'll just try to set it up again manually. So wget.
In this process, do we get any log file anywhere?
No, the problem, that is the problem.
Okay.
We don't get log file. It either executes or there will be some problem. But again, we can't even see the problem because to see the problem, we have to be connected to the shell.
Okay.
So everything that gets executed, it gets executed in the backend. Apt get install Jenkins. Jenkins is already in the newest version, it seems. Enable Jenkins. Okay. Start Jenkins. Now, if I check for status, there we go. Jenkins is running. So something went wrong in that steps. All right. Some goof up happened in that step. And the problem is if one step is messed up, other steps also will not be executed. So imagine if one step is goofed up. So now if I say Docker is also not installed. Okay. Now again, I just have to go up. I just have to run all this. Install Docker, start Docker. Modify Docker permissions. Right. Now, if I say Docker images, perfect. And now what I'll do is I'll also just modify the user profiles for Docker. User mod -ag. Same commands, guys. Whatever we executed yesterday, I'm going ahead. I'm doing the same commands. I'm doing the same execution today. All right. So now if I say Docker is installed. And now what I'll do is I'll run a SonarQube container as well. Okay. So same thing. Now on the server, we have the Jenkins server here. So on port number 8080, you have Jenkins running. Copy the public IP address, paste it here, :8080. On the port 8080, you have Jenkins server running. We'll just quickly configure this. Same steps, same steps. You guys can follow same steps. Oh, sorry, guys. Sorry. We should run the container in detached mode. -dt. Okay. All right, this is perfect. Now Docker is executing, container is running. Okay. And meanwhile, let me copy this sudo cat password. Okay. Now if I copy the address, paste, continue. Install suggested plugins. We'll go with all the suggested plugins. Now it will go ahead, it will start installing the plugins. Okay. So meanwhile, it is installing plugins. Meanwhile, what I'll do is I'll set up SonarQube. I'll go ahead, I'll set up SonarQube. So here instances, copy the IP. Same Sonar is also running on the same server. It's just that port 9000. All right. So Jenkins is up. So I'll just run the profile admin confirm password, full name, email address, admin@gmail.com. And I'll say save and continue. Save and finish. Start using Jenkins. All right, so this is a Jenkins server. So yesterday we went ahead, we have configured multiple different plugins. So today also I'll do the same thing. I'll first configure different plugins for this Jenkins server. We know what are the different plugins that we need. So I'll say plugins, I'll go to plugins, available plugins. We need Sonar, Sonar Scanner, Sonar Quality Gates, OWASP, OWASP Dip Check, and Docker. Docker. I'll install these plugins. And on SonarQube, I'll just log in admin and admin. Old password is admin, new password. New password. So this is a SonarQube dashboard, guys. Now, first thing on the dashboard, what you're supposed to do. So I want to integrate SonarQube and Jenkins together. I want to integrate SonarQube and Jenkins together. So here on the SonarQube, we'll go to administration. Under administration, security, under security, users. You have the admin user. Here we'll generate a token. We'll just say the token name is Sonar, generate. So here you have a token. Just copy the token and store it on the text editor. Just store it somewhere. Okay.
Is it like one secret key? That's it, right?
It's a password. It's a password.
Password for this administrator.
Yes. So consider this like a password. So from my Jenkins server or from my build server, if I want to talk to SonarQube, it will generate a token. You remember when we were using Sonar for testing?
Yes, yes.
Yes. This is the same token.
Okay.
Okay. This token is used for authentication.
Okay.
Yeah. So I just copied the token and then I'll just say admin. Sorry. Admin and admin. So I have copied the SonarQube token. Now what I'll do is I have to update this token, the token I created. No? So where will I update? Here, I'll go to manage Jenkins. system, scroll down, scroll down, scroll down, scroll down. Sonar Cube installation. We'll say add Sonar Cube. Name, I'm just going to call it as Sonar. Server URL. So where is the Sonar Cube running? So this is the path where Sonar Cube is running. This is the path where Sonar Cube is running. And to connect to the Sonar Cube server, what is the password? What is the token? So I'll say add token. See, server authentication token, it's asking. So I'll say add. I'm adding a secret text. Okay. Secret. So just copy the text, paste it. ID will be Sonar. Add. So now, whenever I'm going to use Jenkins to run the job, and wherever I'm going to use Sonar Cube for testing purpose, I will simply say my environment is Sonar. Sonar is running on this URL, and to connect to Sonar, this is the token in the backend. So now my Jenkins will go ahead. My Jenkins will take care of it. Okay, so that's it. So we are done with this. So just say save. Okay, that is one step that is done. And then again, we'll go to tools. Now in tools, what we're going to be doing is here, two steps. Sonar Cube scanner installation. So we'll say add Sonar Cube scanner. Name, I'm going to call this as Sonar. Install automatically. Select the any of the version that you want. And scroll down. Add dependency check. So here the name, I'll say DC, dependency check. Install automatically. So this will install from GitHub. Yeah, it's going to go ahead. It's going to download from GitHub. So I'm adding the Sonar Cube scanner. Okay. And I'm going ahead. I'm adding dependency check. So these are plugins in the backend. So I already went ahead. I have integrated. I cloned the plugins. I downloaded the plugins. Now I'm just activating this plugins. So whatever the plugins I've downloaded, I'm just integrating this. Now I'll say save. Okay. So I updated system, I updated tools. Now one last thing. I will go to the Sonar Cube server. Now under Sonar Cube server, under configuration, we have to update something called as webhook. So what is this webhook? This webhook is nothing but a trigger. So whenever there is a change in Jenkins or whenever Jenkins push any changes, now my Sonar Cube should pull the changes. No, so that is where this webhook comes into the picture. So I'll say create name. I'll say Jenkins URL. So where is the URL? Where is your Jenkins is running? So this is where my Jenkins is running. Copy, paste, and here 8080. So we'll say Sonar Cube hyphen web hook. Sonar Cube hyphen web hook. There is no secret. I'll say create. Now my Jenkins and my Sonar Cube are connected. So this is what we did yesterday. Now let's go to the Jenkins home server and let's create our first job. So we'll say create a job. And guys, now whenever you're creating a job, you have different options. So first we have something called as freestyle project. So freestyle project is something that we used to use previously, guys. Now we don't use freestyle projects anymore because now we prefer to work with a pipeline as a code. We prefer to work with pipeline as a code, or we prefer to purely use scripting. So if you are building manually, you can go with a freestyle project where you guys can select each and every single layer. But here, what we will be doing is we will be going with a pipeline job. We'll be going with a pipeline job. So we will say, first enter the name of the project. So I will say travel app. Okay, I'm just giving a name, travel app. And I'll say pipeline. Select this. So what is pipeline? Orchestra long running activities that can span multiple build agents suitable for building pipelines, formerly known as workflows. So select this, click on OK. Now, once you create this job, guys, so this is where your job is going to ask you some details. So first, it has a general panel. So general, you guys can update the description. Also, this A job will clone the code, build the code, and containerize the app. Containerize the app. So I'm just giving some description. That's up to you, whatever. Now here you guys have some options. So discard old bits, do not allow current builds or concurrent builds. Now all this we don't use these many options, guys. So the important options that we use is first triggers. So trigger, what is a trigger? Trigger is simply nothing but how do you want to go ahead? How do you want to start this build? How do you want to start this process? So you have different option under triggers. So you have something called as build after other projects are build periodically, but we use something called as GitHub hook trigger. So what is this GitHub hook trigger? So whenever there is a change on the GitHub, it will trigger my Jenkins job. And once it triggers, now you see guys, there is a pipeline that will be executed. Okay. So now what is a pipeline? So what is a pipeline? Pipeline is nothing but some set of jobs together. And how do you want to execute? So you have different options. You have something like pipeline script or script from SCM. So we'll see what is this. So first we'll go with pipeline script. And this is the first time you're writing a script. So we'll say try sample pipeline. We will use something like hello world pipeline. Hmm. So this is how a simple pipeline script looks like, guys. So the heading starts with pipeline. Agent is any means I'm just running it on the same server. So that is why it's called as agent any. So it is default. And under this, now you will mention stages. So what are stages? Stages are nothing but different jobs that we want our code to perform. So here we have different stages, guys. So first stage is hello. Okay. So what is it doing? It is simply saying echo hello world. Now, like this, let's say whenever you want to go ahead, whenever you want to add an additional stage, you guys can keep adding stages. So let's say now this is not hello stage. So I'll say this first stage is code clone. Okay. So let's say I want to clone the code. And here echo, I will say clone the code. And then this is the first step. So once the code is cloned, what is that? What will happen, guys? So let's say I want to add the second step. So now what I'll do is I'll add another step, stage. Here I'll say
Sonar check.
sonar check or test.
Sonar test.
Okay. Here we'll say test the code. So whatever the shell command that you want, no, you can just update here. Test the code. Next, I want to build the code. So here I'll say code build. Then we'll say echo. What is the command? Build the code. Next, let's say I want to deploy the code. What is the command? Code deploy. Here we'll say deploy the. Got it, guys? So this is what a pipeline is. What is a pipeline? A pipeline is nothing but stream of jobs executed together. Okay. Now look at this. We just went ahead, we just created our simple pipeline. A pipeline has stages. A stages have again set of jobs which are defined as stage. So every stage has a purpose. For suppose you want to clone the code, you want to test the code, you want to build the code, you want to go ahead, you want to deploy the code. For every stage, there is a job and there is a command that is executed. Now we will just execute this sample code and we'll see how it's going to look like. Okay. So I'll just say save. And now I'll say build down. Let's see what happens. Okay, job failed once again. Okay. Workflow error. So yes. So there is one script error. There is some script error. Travel app configure. Save. Build now. So this is one small problem that you might face across, guys. So whenever you're going ahead, whenever you're just performing or whenever you're writing a script, second, you might have indentation errors.
After every stage, one close bracket missing, I think.
Yeah. So what I'll do is rather than me asking
Fine.
it, I'll just
Okay.
ask ChatGPT to fix it. So that's better. Hmm. Perfect. So I'll just copy this. This I'll delete it. I'll paste my script. This looks perfect. Code the clone. Sorry, clone the code, test it, build it, deploy it. Now I'll say save. And now I'll say build now. Okay. See, guys, my third job is getting built. If I just click on it, there is an output, and look at this running on Jenkins. So Jenkins is performing all the stages, cloning that code, testing it, building it, executing it. If I look at the pipeline console, if I see the pipeline console, I can see the jobs in the order, guys. Can you see it? Starting the job, it is cloning the code, testing the code,
Yes.
building the code, and deploying the
Deploy.
code. This is all fine. Okay, this is all fine. But now, guys, see, this is just a dummy. This is just a sample code. Got it? This is just a sample code. Now, instead of these dummy jobs, now I want to replace this with my actual code. Am I making sense? Instead of this dummy job, I want to go ahead. I want to replace this with my actual curriculum, with my actual steps. Okay. So how is that I'm going to go ahead? How is that I'm going to do it? So here, uh, hmm. so what I can do is I can actually write the code from scratch, guys. I can actually go ahead. I can actually, one second. Hmm. We can go ahead. We can write the code from scratch, or you guys can directly use ChatGPT. So tell ChatGPT that kindly write a script. So something like this. Let me also show you. This is going to be fun. Okay. So hey, kindly write a Jenkins script, Jenkins pipeline script, okay, which should install, which should have stages involving. So what is the first stage, guys? Cloning the code.
Git code cloning. Yes.
Okay. I want to clone the code, then
Test.
perform
Run the
analysis,
sonar test.
perform analysis with Sonar. Yes.
Yes.
Then perform dependency check with OASP with OASP. Then
Deploy the Docker image.
then build a Docker image scan file system with Trivi. Okay. Or and then run Docker compose. So what is Docker compose? Compose is nothing but bunch of containers together. Now you see this, guys. The jobs, clone the code, analyze, dependency check, file system, Docker compose. Now look at this. Agent any environment. So first it is going ahead, it is setting an environment. So what's my environment? Where is the SonarQube server? Okay. So what is the SonarQube server name? What is the Sonar scanner? So what is the SonarQube scanner name? Okay. Dependency directory. If you have any directory, you guys can mention it. Or I can simply say environment sonar cube home. So I can simply call sonar. Yeah, something I can just mention as sonar. We added server and we added scanner. No? So here we'll just say sonar. Scroll down, stage, clone the code. Now here, git branch first. Which branch you want to code? What is the repository you want to go ahead? What is the repository you want to clone? Got it? Very simple here. Then perform analysis. Perform sonar analysis. Now, how to perform sonar analysis here? With Sonar Cube, so already there are some environment variables that are been defined. So Sonar Cube server is being pulled here and Sonar Cube scanner is also being pulled here. And then we can also assign a project name for our project, like what is the name of the project that you want to be displayed on the screen. And then dependency check. Okay. So here steps, it is making a directory for dependency check and it is going ahead. It is running the dependency checks via Docker, guys. It is going ahead. It's running dependency checks via Docker. Then Trivy file system, it is going ahead. Trivy is scanning a file system. So Trivy can actually scan images, but it can also scan raw code. It is scanning the file system and it is generating an output in the report. And finally, Docker Compose up. So what is it doing? It is going ahead. Whatever the containers are created in the backend, it is going ahead. It is building the containers. So like this, guys, you don't have to know how to write a script by yourself. Got it right? You can just ask Jenkins to write a script. Sorry, you can just ask ChatGPT to write a script. Once ChatGPT writes the script, you guys can modify the script. Okay. So here, now for this project, I already have a code repository and I already have a script here. So I will share this code repository in the chat. And here we have a folder called as DevOps. Under this DevOps folder, we created a document called as Jenkins file. In the Jenkins file, you will see the same script. You see, same script. See, guys, there is no difference. Pipeline, environments, stages, analysis, dependency check with OWASP, file system scan with Trivy, Docker Compose. Okay. So this is the code repository. These are all the different stages. But before I show you the stages, let me just show you the code once. So guys, this is a code repository. Look at this. This code repository has two services, backend service, front-end service. Okay. So what you have to do is, once again, guys, what you have to do is, as part of your job, okay, as part of your job, once you get the code repository, you should update, you should create your Docker file. So you see this, there is a Docker file here in the backend. There is a Docker file. If I open the Docker file, you guys will understand what is that doing. I'm using Node as a build and I'm building. So this code is written. This is the Node platform. So I'm building a Docker image for Node application. Same thing in front end also, there is a Docker file.
So like
Front end
two
also,
applications we need to deploy it here, right? Or
for how many ever services there are, you should create Docker files. Front end, there are front end and back end. You should create front end Docker file, back end Docker file. Okay, service only. Okay, service Docker file. So for every service, you have to create a Docker file. We understood the concept of microservices, right?
Correct.
Monolithic, micro. Mono means for one entire application, one Docker file we were writing. But now the application was divided, no? Front end is one service.
Here, complete front end, back end is there in the single Git URL, right? Or
yes, and see, again, it depends on how they want to manage the project. I can keep it under single Git repository or I can keep it under two different repositories. That's totally up to us. How you want to go ahead, how you want to manage the project. That's totally up to you.
Okay, yeah, go ahead.
Got it?
Yes.
But majoritarily, as far as I've seen, we usually manage everything under a single repository. If it's it is belong to a single service, no, single project, no, We manage everything under a single repository. Everybody will be working under their own folder. Like backend developers will be only working under backend folder. Front-end developers will be only working under front-end. And whenever the final changes are updated, we will just push it and we will roll out.
And when it comes to deployment, everything clubbing together and deploying, or
So whenever the change is there, now let's say in backend only there is a change. What
okay,
do? We build, already the Docker file is ready. We build the
correct.
Docker file, the latest image, we go ahead, we deploy this with Kubernetes.
This front end we don't touch that
We
time.
don't touch it. And the
Yeah.
application will also not be disturbed. It will be going ahead, it will be doing its own job.
Okay. Yeah.
Got it?
Yes.
So now guys, this is the code. So for backend, there is a service. For frontend, there is its own service. Now for every service, there is a Docker file. Okay. For every service, there is a Docker file here. For frontend, there is a Docker file here. Okay. And to run this, now then you also have something called as a Docker compose file. So what is the Docker compose? Now we used to use it previously. In current generation, we don't use it. So Docker compose is a mechanism. Let's say I want to run multiple containers, okay, and I don't have Kubernetes, but I want to run multiple containers, so I can use Docker compose. So in the Docker compose, I can mention what database I'm running, what is my backend service, okay, and on what port I want my backend service to run. What is my front-end service? On what port I want my front-end service to run. What is my Reddit service and what container it is running. So this is what Docker Compose is. So Docker Compose is an older way of running multiple containers, but now we just use Kubernetes for that. Okay. So now to manage, to build this entire process. Now imagine guys, imagine if you have to do it manually, what we will do? You'll clone the code, correct? Then individually, you'll test it with Sonar. You'll test the code with Sonar individually. Then you will build the code. So for backend, you will build separately. Front end, you will build separately. Then you will convert them into Docker images. So you will write your Docker file. Then you will build your Docker images. Then you will push these images to the Docker Hub. Correct?
Yes.
Yes or no, guys? So now you guys know how to do it manually, right? If I give you the
Yes.
code, you should be able to perform all these actions manually. Correct?
Yes.
Now the same actions, I want to go ahead, I want to perform it in matter of script, in form of script. So here, same thing. So first, what am I doing? Cloning the code from GitHub, stage one. Second, performing quality analysis with what? With Sonar Cube. So I'm saying Sonar colon Sonar. Here I'm naming a project. So the name of the project is Wanderlust and I'm giving a key. So this is up to you. You can name your project whatever you want to. Whatever the name that you give here, the same name will be reflecting on your Sonar Cube server. Then I'm performing dependency check with OWASP. Okay. So I'm saying scan all the ODC installation, all the dependencies that will be installed and create a report. Then there is a Sonar quality gate. Now, what is this quality gate does? So whenever the Sonar Cube is performing any checks, and if there is a delay, okay, if there is a delay, if there is any, if the pipeline is not going through forward because of Sonar Cube, it will wait for 2 minutes. It will wait for 2 minutes, then it will stop the pipeline. It will stop the pipeline. Then what is that I want to do? I want to perform scanning of image with Trivi. But before building the image, I don't know what to scan. So let's say not only image, I can also scan the entire table, like whatever the directory. So I'm downloading this code repository now, this Wanderlust travel up code repository. Now it will go ahead, it will clone the entire directory. Or if you want to scan the particular image, you guys can just name the image HTTP or whatever you want to name it. And then finally, here, I'm saying Docker Compose up. So once everything is done, it will run Docker Compose where I can see all my containers would be running in the backend. So like this, let's say I want to add additional steps. So I can just go ahead, I can just use ChatGPT. So till here, understood, right? What are the steps are doing, guys? So this is the first time. I'm sure there might be a little confusion, but you guys are following. Whatever we are doing manually, I'm just writing it in form of a script. Got it? Got it, right? Yes or no?
Yes.
Okay. Now from here, no, what you can do is, let's say you want to add another stage. So I can simply say add stage to push image to Docker Hub. Okay. So it will modify the script. It will modify the script. Now you see it is adding a new layer. What are the credentials of Docker? So what is your Docker Hub credentials? Okay. What is the Docker image name? You want to tag the image, tag it as latest and scroll down, scroll down. And finally, Docker push with the credentials that I have provided, and it will go ahead, it will push the image. You see, Docker login, Docker push. Now let's say after this, you want to run it with Kubernetes cluster. So currently we don't have a Kubernetes cluster, but in the Jenkins script only, you want to run with Kubernetes cluster. So I'll say add a stage to run the kubectl manifest file. Just pay attention, guys. It will just help you add another stage. Push the image, then apply Kubernetes manifest. Now look at this. kubectl apply -f k deployment. So if your deployment file is ready, it will update the image. It will go ahead. It will pull the image. It will run your image. So whatever the script you need in order to build, I can simply go ahead. I can simply build this script with the help of ChatGPT, and the same script is available here. Now what I'll do is I'll copy this entire script. Okay. I'll copy this script and I'll go to my Jenkins server. Now in the Jenkins server, I'll remove this script. Okay. I'll remove this script. I'll paste the script here. I'll paste the script here. And one more thing, I can also mention my project. So where is my project coming from? It's coming from GitHub. So project link. So project link here, you guys can take this from here. So this guy is a very popular developer, guys. You guys can find a lot of practice portfolios here. And under this project link, go to DevOps branch. So don't touch main branch. The main branch is the place where you guys will see a lot of development happens. So don't touch main branch. So this is the link. You guys can also copy the link. Okay? You guys can also copy the link. You guys can also paste the link here. This is where the code is coming from. You guys can also paste the link. And scroll down, scroll down, scroll down. GitHub trigger. So I'm mentioning that whenever there is a change is happening on the GitHub, I want the changes to be happening simultaneously on my Jenkins server. And look at this script. So I can write the script from here. I can write the script here, pipeline script, or we have another option, script from SCM now. So I can also select this from SCM. And now it is asking script path. Path means where is your script file located? So under this code repository, your file is located under the path called as Jenkins file. So this is also another option. Or you can go ahead, you guys can directly write the script from here. This is also another option. So now guys, if I run this script, let's see what exactly happens. So currently you guys can also look at my SonarQube. So there are no projects on my SonarQube as of now. There are no projects. And on my local server, so I'll just connect to my local server. So now if I say Docker PS, there is only one SonarQube container that is running. And now if I run this, so actually this will take a lot of time, guys, because this part, no, this OS dependency check, this will take a lot of time. But let me just save this and let me run it. Let's see what happens. Build now. Build schedule. Fourth build is running. So I'll just click on this. You guys can see the console output here. Okay. It says build failure. Build failure. So why? Let me scroll up. Let me scroll up. Let me scroll up. It says injecting SonarQube environment variables using configuration Sonar. This is fine. This is fine. Sonar token. Please check the property Sonar token or the environment variable Sonar token. Execution failure. Okay. So there is a problem with the Sonar Cube token, guys. There's a problem with the Sonar Cube token. So what we will do is, 1 second. Tools, error, failed to query, server version. Is the IP address correct? 204.236.137.42.9000. 42.9000 API failed with HTTP. Please check the property sonar.token or environment. Sonar Cube token. So let's copy this. Just go back, travel up. Settings. System. Scroll down, scroll down. This is where Jenkins is running. That's fine. This is where Sonar is running. This is IP address where Sonar is running. Token. Sonar, this is a token. I'll just save. Okay. Now let me just go back. Configure. Save. Let me build now. So guys, now whatever problems you face here, this is your responsibility to fix it. Okay. You have to go through this. You have to go through this. Okay. Now looks like my Sonar is configured properly. So I did not select the token. So very simple problem. Very simple problem. That's it. So Sonar analysis is been happening here. So scroll up. You guys can see all the stages. All the stages. So first it cloned the code. It went ahead, it cloned the code, guys. Okay. So you guys can see the code on your local machine. Then it is performing quality analysis. So if I go back to Sonar Cube,
In personal machine means in our that cloud only, right? In that root
yes,
directory,
in the same VM,
as
whatever
we
the
did
VM.
in manual process.
Yes, same.
Okay. In the real time also, it will do the same thing, right?
Absolutely.
It would
Absolutely.
clone.
Same process. No difference.
Okay. Now it is cloud. Okay.
Hmm.
Before that cloud, how it was happening?
We were using bare metal servers, physical
That
servers.
code is coming into that host, right?
That's
Host
right.
and then building. Okay.
That's right. Whatever it is, you have to manage the servers physically.
Okay.
Hmm. So guys, now this will take some time. This will take some time. And it will go ahead, it will execute each and every single step layer by layer by layer. So again, uh, it will easily take nothing less than 40 minutes, guys. Why it will take 40 minutes? Because of two things. One is of Sonar analysis and one is of OWASP dependency check. For these two jobs, it will easily go ahead, it will easily take 40 minutes at easy ga padutundi. And Madhela, there will be some problems, there will be some issues. So we have to fix that as well. Okay, so meanwhile, any questions? Any questions do you guys have? Jagdish, Shiva, Krishna, Bhanukumar. Any questions? Okay, guys, following, right? అర్థమవుతుంది కదా? Yes. Now, where are all the tools are coming into the picture? So all the tools are coming into the picture are under this Jenkins layer. Clear?
Yes, correct. So after this Jenkins, we have any topics, right? Further topics.
So, okay. So this is what we are using Jenkins kada.
Yeah. Yes.
But see guys, whatever I was teaching you, this is open source tools. So basic ఈ tools అన్ని మీ curriculum లో part కాదనమాట. ఓకే, ఈ డాకర్ క్యూబర్నెటిస్ కరికులం లో పార్ట్, బట్ మిగతావన్నీ ఇవి యాన్సిబుల్, టెరాఫార్మ్. సో వెన్ యూ లెర్న్ అజూర్ డెవాప్స్ లో ఇవన్నీ రావన్నమాట. సో ఇప్పుడు అయిపోయింది. సో ఇప్పుడు ఏంటి, మీకు జెంకిన్స్ తోని ప్రతి ఒక్క టూల్ ఒక్కొక్క స్టేజ్ లాగా యాడ్ చేసుకోవచ్చు. మళ్ళీ స్క్రిప్ట్ రాయాలంటే సింపుల్, మనకు చాట్ జీపీటీ ఉంది అనమాట. సో చాట్ జీపీటీ వెళ్ళి మనకు ఒక వండర్ఫుల్ స్క్రిప్ట్ క్రియేట్ చేసేస్తుంది, అసలు ప్రాబ్లం ఏం లేదు. దానిలో మనం కొన్ని మోడిఫికేషన్స్ చేసుకోవచ్చు. మళ్ళీ ఏమైనా ఎర్రర్స్ ఉంటే మళ్ళీ చాట్ జీపీటీని వెళ్ళి మళ్ళీ చాట్ జీపీటీని అడగవచ్చు. మేము ప్రొడక్షన్లో ఇదే చేస్తాం మేము. సో ఇప్పుడు ఇది అయిపోయింది, ఇది జెంకిన్స్. బట్ యాక్చువల్లీ మీరు యూ షుడ్ నాట్ బి యూజింగ్ జెంకిన్స్ గైస్. యూ గైస్ ఆర్ హియర్ ఫర్ అజూర్ డెవాప్స్. సో సేమ్ థింగ్, జెంకిన్స్ ఏదైతే జాబ్ చేస్తుందో, వాట్ ఎవర్ జెంకిన్స్ ఇస్ పర్ఫార్మింగ్, రైట్, I can perform the same actions using Azure CI/CD. So Azure also has its own DevOps environment anamata. So under Azure DevOps, I can go ahead, I can build a complete CI/CD environment in order to build my code, in order to deploy my code, in order to test my code, in order to orchestrate, in order to deploy this with Kubernetes cluster. So in the next class, this is what we'll be looking at. Same methodology, how to achieve with Azure. And ikkada Kubernetes cluster kuda edaithe undo, we will be using AKS, Azure Kubernetes Service nunchi manam cluster create chestam anamata. Got it?
ఈ గిట్ ఉంది కదా, అది మళ్ళీ అజూర్ లో కూడా ఉంటుందా కిరణ్?
గిట్ గిట్ ఎక్కడైనా గిట్ కావాలి మనం.
ఓకే, అది అవుట్ సైడ్ గిట్ హబ్ నుంచి తీసుకురావాల్సింది కదా ఆ కోడ్.
అజూర్ లో కూడా అజూర్ రిపో అని ఉంటుంది. బట్ ఇక్కడ కూడా ఏంటి అంటే మనం డైరెక్ట్ అజూర్ లో మెయింటైన్ చేసుకోవచ్చు. బట్ యాక్చువల్ వచ్చేసి డెవలపర్ గిట్ లోకి అప్డేట్ చేసిన తర్వాత గిట్ లో నుంచి అజూర్ రెపోకి వస్తుంది. సో ఇక్కడ ఈ రెపో కిందనే పైప్ లైన్స్ కాన్ఫిగరేషన్ అవన్నీ ఆప్షన్స్ ఉంటాయి మనకు. Yeah.
Yes.
So that is what we will be looking into next. And guys, tomorrow somebody, do you guys have Azure accounts, right? Or can another Azure accounts? I need
mine got expired actually.
Okay. Others, do you have anybody Azure accounts? If you have Azure account, I need for next project, we need Azure account, so that I can show you one last topic on Azure, how to manage the end-to-end CI/CD on Azure, and we can wind it up. Nobody has Azure accounts. Okay, no problem. We'll figure out something. So guys, okay, so the job is happening. So let this job happen. So this, as I said, this will take some time.
The same app we are going to see in the Azure Jenkins
Same.
also, right? You are saying.
Same.
Yeah, okay. Sure.
So actually this is 2-tier. We can take 3-tier also.
The 2-tier means?
This is only front end and back end.
Okay.
Now, sir, for some applications, there will be middleware also. Front end, back end, middleware.
Front end UI, back end our Java. What is that middleware?
Middleware is where your logic happens. Like interconnection of two services.
That is called back end only, right?
Back end only. But so separately, you have sometimes some applications use middleware also to connect multiple services. Now, let's say you have multiple services. So to connect this multiple services, we use middleware.
Okay. Now here front end and back end in the same code repository it is there. So we are how to deploy multiple microservices and communication between those microservices, that we are going to see. Or
communication is already established by developer.
No, yeah, correct.
So you are not bothered about communication. See, the only thing is, first, once you get the code, what will you do? You will build the code. You will deploy it.
Yes.
Regardless. So when you build, front end, back end doesn't matter. Whenever you build, you perform the build on the entire code level. But when you're coming to microservices, now front end, again, separately you are building. Back end, separately, you are going ahead, you are building. Now, as soon as this build is performed, as soon as this application is ready, the communication will be established automatically. It is the developer's job in the back end to integrate APIs and all. We don't manage APIs. Developer will manage APIs. Our job is, once you have the code, you should just understand how do you containerize the code? How do you convert this application? So first, you know how to build and deploy. Then secondly, you should know how to convert this application into a Docker image.
Okay.
And
I
then you run this image with Kubernetes.
Correct. I think if application A is running on 8080, application microservice B is running on 8090. So to communicate this, sometimes I think, yeah, correct. I understand. This API gateway, those things will come into picture, and automatically it will get that without port something. Yeah, I
See,
got it. Yes.
see, when there are services like payment gateways, right?
Yes.
Notification services, we don't even touch them.
Correct.
These are all directly integrated by the developer. So the developer will only go ahead, the developer will get the API keys from any of the payment gateway, like be it like Stripe or Razorpay. They will go ahead, they will start integrating it, they'll start building it. So my job is, once I build the application, once I'm able to see the application, my job is done. But the primary question is, if building the application, if the job is done, no. Our job, the secondary thing is scaling. So we should make sure that this application should be able to be handled by hundreds of users. So tomorrow, if there are 1 million users, okay. Now the developer will not know. If there are 1 million users, what will the developer do? He does not know. So here the application will crash. So you will come into the picture to scale. Now you will run this across multiple containers and manage these containers across Kubernetes with orchestration services. Got it?
Yes.
Integration, everything, developer will take care of it. Your job is to manage scaling only. Clear?
Yes, clear.
Okay, guys. So we'll pause it here. So I'll just leave it here because, as I told you, this will easily take 40 to 40 minutes, or nothing less than 40 to 1 hour, 40 minutes to 1 hour. So I'll just leave it here. In tomorrow's class, I'll show you what is the final output. It went ahead, it executed. And from here, in tomorrow's class, we'll switch to Azure. So we'll try to understand how do we achieve the same option? How do we achieve the same output on top of Azure? Got it? All right.
Yes.
Yeah. I'll update all of this in the notes, guys. So you already have all the documentation in the notes as of now. So I'll update the remaining documentations. You guys can go ahead, you guys can follow it up, and you guys can start practicing. Yeah. All right. Thank you, guys. Bye, guys. See you tomorrow.
Thanks, Kiran.